Yeah. No, it is your boy all day. The all 47 AM PM popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, continuing on with the first games ever by every team series, and so you don't miss any essential rugby league information, watch this video all the way through to the end as we're always. So, there are 17 teams currently in the NRL competition, and in the past there have been 16 other teams who no longer exist. That's 33 teams altogether. So this video series, 33 videos, one video each for each of the teams who has ever participated in the competition, going over their first ever game and other assorted highlights from their first ever season. So right now, we're up to Brisbane Broncos' first ever game. So, Brisbane Broncos entering the comp in 1988 round one, and they got off to the most incredible possible start. In my opinion, the best debut game out of all of them, out of all 33 teams, and they destroyed Manly 44 points to 10 at Lang Park. So 1988 round one, Brisbane 44, Manly 10, Brisbane Broncos' first ever game. Played at Lang Park on the 6th of March 1988. The crowd 17,451 people, and the referee Mick Stone. Broncos, of course, kept it up and won the first 6 consecutive games in 1988, but then they lost 4 out of the next 5 games and were inconsistent over the remainder of the season, and eventually finished the 1988 season in 7th place out of 16 teams, and that was not enough to make the finals because back then the finals used to be the top 5 teams. So 7th place finish not enough for them. They should have definitely made the finals because the games they won in 1988, they played sparkling champagne football, but the games they lost were just what let them down. What was their Achilles heel was the games they lost, like the abysmal performances they had as well as the brilliant performances. No middle ground at all. They were either brilliant or they were either abysmal. So, after 22 regular season rounds in 1988, Brisbane had won 14 games and lost 8, 28 competition points, finishing in 7th place. They'd scored 474 points in attack and conceded 368 in defence, so at least the fraud against was positive, plus 106 points. So, this absolutely brilliant debut game though, the first game they ever played against Manly, winning 44-10, is absolutely, incredibly unique statistic in this one. I find it quite astonishing, in fact. I find it absolutely astonishing. Brisbane got 7 tries and 8 goals. They had a back, a half, a forward and an interchange player all get a try in the same game, which I find absolutely incredible. So, Brisbane 7 tries in their first ever game. 1 by the winger Joe Kilroy, 2 by the immortal 5'8" Wally Lewis, King Wally, 1 by the second row Brett Mann, 2 by the other second row Terry Madison, and 1 by the bench interchange Billy Noak. Terry Madison, as well as his 2 tries, he landed a stunning 8 goals from 9 attempts, so 24 points on debut. While for Manly, just the 2 tries, 1 by the fullback Dale Shearer and 1 by the 5'8" Cliff Lyons. Centre Michael O'Connor getting only 1 goal from 5 attempts. So for Michael O'Connor, of all people to only get 1 goal from 5 attempts, you knew that Manly were just having a most uncharacteristic performance, because O'Connor, one of the best kickers, goal kickers, field goal kickers, kickers in general play that we've ever seen in the history of the game. So for him to only get 1 out of 5 goals, most uncharacteristic. Manly, of course, put this loss in round 1 behind them and ended up making the finals in 1988, finishing in 4th place. Even though, here's another incredible, eerie statistic, even though on 2 occasions in 1988, Brisbane beat Manly twice, so the other time they beat them was round 16, 28 points to 10 at Brookvale. Even though Brisbane beat Manly twice, Manly still made the finals in 1988 and Brisbane didn't. That's just the frivolous nature of our great game. So, what we need to do now is go through every single Brisbane Broncos score in 1988, all 22 of them. Now, I'm not going to do this for all the teams. I'm doing it for Brisbane, well, for a few of the teams, just because they did win the 14 games in their debut season, which, although I've said it's disappointing they missed out on the finals, because they played brilliantly at times, it's still a ton of wins for a team in their debut year. As you watch these videos, you'll find that most of the teams only won about 4, 5 or 6, maybe 7 games in their debut season. Not all of them, but most of them. So, for the few teams that won lots of games in their debut season, so Brisbane, Melbourne, South, Roosters, Warriors, St George Illawarra as a merged team, Dolphins as well, teams that did win a lot of games in their debut season will end up doing all the score. So, and I want to go for all 22 games as well, just to really underline, highlight just how inconsistent Broncos were in 1988. So 1988 round 1, like I said, a thumping 44-10 win over Manly at Lang Park. In round 2, a 2018 win over Penrith at Lang Park. Penrith another heavyweight in 1988. So 2 big scalps to begin with. In round 3, Brisbane flogged West 38 points to 4 at Camperdown Stadium. West wouldn't spooners, but at least Broncos put a big score in like they were supposed to. In 1988 round 4, this time Brisbane had beaten Norths 24-12 at North Sydney Oval. In round 5, they'd beaten Parramatta 24-18 at Lang Park. Lang Park, by the way, is Suncorp Stadium. It's the same venue they play now. It's just called Lang Park at the time. In round 6, Brisbane had beaten Newcastle 24-10. So I said they began in the best possible fashion winning the first 6 games. Then they lost 4 out of the next 5 games, and get how disappointing they were. In 1988 round 7, when the heat was on, Brisbane had to play heavyweights Balmain Tigers at Lang Park and lost to Balmain 26-18. The heat was on and they didn't get the job done. That one probably excusable because it was against Balmain, who were one of the top 5 finals teams in 1988. But absolutely no excuses. 1988, round 7 I should say, against Balmain. 1988, round 7, Brisbane lost to Balmain 26-18. Round 8, they went down to Shark Park and were thumped by Cronulla 38 points to 8. Where's this come from? Where's the 30-point hiding come from after how they played the first 6 games? Then in round 9, Brisbane did at least win, but it was very unconvincing. They only beat Roosters 24-20 at Lang Park. Roosters, one of the not-so-good teams in 1988. At least they won. But what was absolutely deplorable and what no one saw coming was 1988 round 10, one of the most disappointing performances in Broncos history, or probably in any team's history. They'd gone to Seagull Stadium, they'd lost to Gold Coast 25-22 of all teams. That's not the Gold Coast Titans. I've said many times before in other videos, there was a previous incarnation of Gold Coast. They called themselves the Gold Coast Giants, then the Gold Coast Seagulls, and then the Gold Coast Chargers, and were infamous for hardly ever winning any games. Between 1988, their first year as well, so we'll obviously have their video coming up soon enough. But between 1988 and 1998, when the first Gold Coast team existed, they made the finals once only in 1997. So yeah, and they were infamous for hardly ever winning any game. So, and this was in fact the first game. In fact, the first game the Gold Coast did ever win when they beat Brisbane 25-22, 1998 round 10 at Gold Coast Seagull Stadium. Absolutely ridiculous. And then in round 11, also ridiculous, a 36-16 thumping by Canberra Raiders. So Canberra 36, Brisbane 16 at Lang Park in 1988 round 11. See, like I said, up and down all over the place. So then they picked up 2 wins. Looked like, okay, maybe they're bouncing back. 1988 round 12, Brisbane had beaten Illawarra Steelers when they were a standalone team, 32 points to 10 at Wollongong Stadium. Showground, I think it was called at the time. And then in round 13, Brisbane had beaten St George Dragons when they were a standalone team, 26-22 at Lang Park, 1988 round 13. But just when they'd had 2 pretty good wins, reasonable wins, 2 shocking losses again. Like I said, all over the place, no middle ground, either brilliant or terrible. 1988 round 14, they managed 1 single try. The second row, Brett McMahon scored the only try, and they were no match, losing to South Sydney Rabbitohs 16-4 at the Old Sydney Football Stadium. Before in round 15 at Lang Park, they were thumped by eventual 1988 Premiers Canterbury, 25 points to 10. You know what I mean? So all over the place. Then they just happened to win their next 4 consecutive games, and all of a sudden they were back in top 5 finals contention again. Well, no picking them. No reading what they were going to do week to week. So 1988 round 16, they'd beaten Manly for the second time in the season, this time 28 points to 10 at Brookvale. In round 17, a hard-fought, gritty, dour, but like really tough, no-nonsense forwards battle, and they emerged with an 8-6 win over Penrith at Penrith Park. So all of a sudden they're playing excellent again. So that's round 17. Then in round 18, a 32 points to 6 win over Western Suburbs at Lang Park. We were expected to do that. It was only against 1988 Winspurners West. In round 19, a 24 points to 6 win over North Sydney at Lang Park. Then, just when they'd won 4 consecutive games and got themselves back into finals contention, there were 3 games left in the season. This was the killer right here. In 1988 round 20, they only had to play Parramatta at the old Parramatta Stadium. Parramatta were long gone, so to speak, long out of finals contention in 1988. Struggled the whole year. But Brisbane couldn't even beat Parramatta and went down to 22-14, 1988 round 20. So, yeah, that was pretty much the killer blow. And on the end of the forum, Brisbane did manage to beat Newcastle 24 points to 8 in 1988 round 21 at Lang Park. That meant they had a tiny little mathematical glimmer of hope of still making the finals if they won the last game and the other results went their way. But it ended up not mattering in the slightest about the other results because the last game, they went up against Heavyweights Balmain Tigers at Leichhardt Oval, and they were no match going down to Balmain 20 points to 10. Balmain, of course, a very formidable team at that point in time during the 1980s, especially at Leichhardt, where they seldom lost. So Brisbane never realistically going to win that one. 1988, round 22, Balmain 20, Brisbane 10. So there you go. Brisbane Broncos' first ever game, yes, they beat Manly 44-10, started from the best fashion possible, 1988, round 1, Brisbane 44, Manly 10. But they were inconsistent for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So there you go. Not going to do every single score for all the teams, just the teams who won a lot of games in their debut season. Of course, look, it wasn't too long before Broncos got it together consistently. They only had to wait until 1992 when they beat St George 28-8 in the 92 grand final, and then St George again in 93 grand final 14 points to 6. And then the 1997 Super League grand final, they beat Nile 26-8 and Steve Rudolph got a hat-trick. 1998 grand final, they beat the Bulldogs 38-12 in the 2000 grand final, they beat the Roosters 14-6. In the 2006, their most recent grand final win over Melbourne Storm 15-8. So, despite their inconsistent start to their existence in 1988, inconsistent as well in 1989, 1990 and 91, they didn't have to wait too much longer to win all those incredible premierships with their incredible 90s team that had Alan Langer, had Kevin and Kerrod Walters, Willie Kahn, Steve Renoff, Michael Hancock, John Plath, Glenn Lazarus, Mark Hone, Trevor Gilmore, Still Sailor, everyone like that. You know what I mean. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end, so you didn't miss any imperative rugby league information. And thank you so much, as always, for that pathological, head-splitting support you boy all day. DL47. Keep it brutal. Toodaloo.